are looking much more promising in the second half. Great ball, Musa!
They're going to party like it's 1998.
Stabbed forward to Oshola to use her pace and use her strength and finish brilliantly. It was sensational goal!
Over the years, Edo State was known to be the center for all forms of sporting activities, with discoveries of many sportsmen and women who have represented the state nationally and internationally. However, the sector suffered setback due to neglect. Recently, Governor Basike marked 5 years in office, and we are looking at the sports sector in the last 5 years of his administration. Also, Super Eagles coach Ginot Raw hopes to begin camping on December 28, despite calls from various quarters that he should go. Nigeria has been drawn alongside Egypt, Guinea-Bissau and Sudan in Group D. These and other updates in the world of sport will come to you on this week's edition of Real Sports. I am Udwakobong Achebong. We sincerely apologize for starting the program behind schedule, but we'll begin with the tidbit segment after this timeout. Please stay tuned.
Eagles coach Ginot Raw looks forward to commence camping in December 28. The Eagles will face Egypt in their game in January 11. Roy, whose future as coach of the team remains in doubt, despite steering the Eagles to the playoff round of the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, also wants to play one friendly game before they depart for the tournament. He also hinted that he may not be there for the tournament. Still in football, Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has been ruled out of action for the next 3 months following surgery of his cheekbone and eye socket. With this, the striker will miss the 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon next year. Osimhen is expected to return in 3 months. The Nigerian international suffered 3-2 loss to champions Inter Milan at the San Siro after colliding with Inter defender Milan Skriniar last Sunday. Meanwhile, Ralph Rangnick is almost concluding a deal to become Manchester United's interim manager as the club seeks replacement for the sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Rangnick, 63, is currently head of sports and development at Russian Lokomotiv Moscow. Michael Carrick took charge of the side for Tuesday's Champions League win at Villarreal. In another development, the Tigers will face France, China and Mali in Group B of the 2022 FIBA Women World Cup qualifiers billed for February 10 to 13 at the Ranko Zaravica Sports Hall, Belgrade, Serbia. The World Cup is billed to hold from September 22 to October 1st, 2022 in Australia with a total of 12 teams.
Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Real Sports. And just before we began this program, there was an introductory note on this week's program looking at sports development in Edo State under the administration of Governor Godwin Obaseki in the last 5 years. And of course, a few days ago, the governor celebrated 5 years of his administration, and then we'll be looking at that. And to talk more on that, we have a sport editor in the studio. He is Kehinde Usagede. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you for coming. Yes, just like I've said, we are looking at sport, how the sports sector has fared under Godwin Obaseki as governor of Edo State in the last 5 years. What are your observations and assessment?
Well, I'm a sports journalist, like you rightly introduced me, and we have been following events in the States. And I want to say that the governor really started well, because if you want to profile a solution to problems already known, the best thing to do is to get stakeholders together, professionals in the game or in the sphere, the area, to look at issues, try to know what the issues are, then how to go about it, tackling it. I think that is what the governor did, because I can remember when he assumed office, shortly after assuming duty, I think between early 2017, there was a sports summit organized in the state. Personalities, sports personalities, great ones, talking about mathematical Odegbami, Segun Odegbami, we all know, was part of that summit, and they came up with a paper. And I want to believe that is what the governor is using right now, because I also covered the same event. You were there too. We were together in the office of deputy governor then. So, and it was then I knew the man was really looking at something and he was going to make it. Because after that time, since then we have seen evidence of it. Looking at the remodeling, reconstruction and remodeling of Samuel Ugbemudia Stadium, we all know what it used to be. But today now it's a world-class stadium, and we are all proud of it. Even national events are being hosted there. We all know, even recently, National Sports Festival was also hosted there. So a lot of things going on. Apart from the stadium, you also see some mini stadiums across the state. Even Western Boys, very close to the office here, it's also part of it. You see Uwa Primary School, looking at School of Health Technologies, my club, Better Insurance, We Training. All these ones I've mentioned to you, all the stadiums I've mentioned to you now. What's the meaning of that? To encourage sportsmen and women in the state, okay, by providing the infrastructure, facilities to really encourage them to go into it.
Let me comment. No, the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, in the month of August, had interaction with media persons, and then he was talking about the state that they are built on the sports development program in the state is anchored on 3 pillars. He did mention infrastructure development, capacity building for coaches and officials, and talent hunting and development. Looking at these 3 sectors, do you really think it's really playing out to come up and implement this?
Yes, the implementation has started. It has started because, yes, even 2018, remember 2018 National Sports Festival held in Lagos, which held in Lagos. I mean, sorry, in Abuja. Okay. So we were also there. We covered the event. So it was there, right there, he even announced. Apart from, after that, when we got the hosting right, when he got to Benin again, he also said in one of Tikarunda sport stakeholders, something like that again, also held in the States, chaired by the deputy governor himself. He also retreated it. that all athletes, all Edo-born athletes who are outside should come back home, you know, to represent their fatherland. All the necessary motivation, whatever is needed to really, you know, encourage them, to push them further, will be provided. And I can't remember names now. I know there are some persons who have really come back. And apart from that, the grassroots development is also going on. A lot of programs going on in the states. The recent, before the National Sports Festival held in Benin, there was a state sports festival, if you remember. So all that are part of plans to really get the people from, from the local government areas, you know, talents. It's part of the talent on to really get the budding talents, you know, for, further development.
Yes, you know,
So
those states had always been in the picture years back. Development,
Number one.
Bringing out sportsmen
Then
and
number
women.
one.
We seem not to see that spirit. And you're talking of talent hunting and the government having facilities and across some parts in the state and all that. What do you think should really be done? Should be the focus of government? It's now 5 years in office. I don't really think they've really gotten it as they want to do it in the sports sector. What should they be focusing on to ensure that Edo State keeps on producing sportsmen and women who will continue to represent the state nationally and internationally?
Yes, the first thing is, you know, when you are building, when you are solving the problem, it's more difficult than you destroying it. A lot has gone bad in the state. And let me bring our minds back. This abroad thing, nobody wants to even settle down here to do anything. You growing up, the next thing is thinking of how to go abroad, even when the person is even good. Instead of settling down to pursue the career here and represent his fatherland, they prefer to go abroad, even
Probably
obscured.
Because the environment is not
Yes, that
conducive
is what
for
I'm
them,
telling you. That is what I'm
where
saying.
they come from.
Yes, I'm going there because some of them look at it, there is nothing here. Okay? So let me just manage. Then once they get into that limelight, the next thing you see, they are looking for who will push them. Footballers and the rest of them push, even if not even Europe or America, they prefer to go to the next African country. Maybe they are where the welfare package is there, the economic situation there is better off. So they move. That is what is happening. Even apart from sports, in the other professional spheres, it's like that, medical and the rest of them. You see our doctors, they are everywhere in Europe and America, you know.
So let's hope
here,
that government
has
will just
started
go
doing
back to the
something.
drawing board
Yeah.
and begin to see what they can do. Come up with competitions. We used to have Governor's Cup, Principal's Cup and all that, all those competitions, because from there you'll be able to pick talent and work on them. Let's hope that in the next years to come, as governor, the governor continues in office, he will really look into the sports sector to ensure that his roadmap for sport development really comes to fruition. We've been talking with Osagede, Kehinde Osagede, a sports editor on the sports sector in Edo State, as the governor celebrated 5 years in office. We now take a break. We'll be back shortly for more discussion. Many thanks for staying tuned. You're still watching Real Sports on NTA Benin. And in this part of the program, we'll be looking at, there's a trending issue in the world of football, Nigeria precisely, talking about the coach of the Super Eagles, Gennett Rohr, and there has been pressure on NFF to sack the coach. But before we look at it, let's listen to some interviews conducted in town, what sports fans had to say about Gennett Rohr.
For me, I'm not really doing anything bad. You can qualify for World Cup or National Cup. There's no reason to sack him because still give me a time. Let's hear what we have, the outcome at the end of the day. And the only thing I will also have that the position to leave football matter. Let them focus on their business and let them people that know how to hunt football, let them do it. That is the reason why giving coach selection is a very bad thing.
They should give this man a chance. He has been trying. At least let them give him a try once and for all in this Africa competition that is coming next year.
The manager of the team, he needs support and he needs the encouragement to be focused. If he's facing distraction at this very moment, he may not play good way for Nigeria. To not bring us good team. We have tried. We know that he has spent some years trying to build a team. But Rome was not built in a day.
Nation Cup is next year, January. And they have a friendly match they will play December before they will go to the Nation Cup. So they should leave him alone to carry them to go to the Nation Cup.
He has been doing well. So I want to believe that not just one mistake we want to make people come against and say, okay, we're going to sack him and stuff like that. So they should be giving more time to prove his ability. So I support that idea for them to sack because our last match, our second match, like Nigeria played so bad.
Yes, that has been the voices of sports fans talking about Gennett Rohr, and of course it's a two-way thing. While some say he should be sacked, others says he should be given the chance to continue with the theme. I still have a sport editor in the studio, Kehinde Sagede, to still talk about this aspect of our program. Well, you know, a lot of people have reacted, and you know, since the Super Eagles played 1-1 draw with the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde, it didn't go down well for a lot of sports fans, and since then the cry for him to be sacked has been so loud, but the pressure has been so intense on NFF to sack him. Then what's your take on this? We are looking at Gennett Rohr. Should he still be given the opportunity, or should he be led off for someone else to try the job?
Well, maybe we'll be biased there. Yes. Let me increase the pressure, the loudness of the cause for his removal. Okay. Let me in fact amplify it now, because I'm not satisfied with him at all as a sport follower, especially football. I'm not satisfied with him because he's an expatriate. Abi, we have local coaches here. We have Mokachi. We have even former Barcelona superstar Emmanuel Amonike. We have Finidi George, who is with Eyimba now. We have Guavon, who is also in the technical department there. We have a lot of them. Even Siasia, all of them, we have them. How come we didn't give chance to all these people when some African countries have even tried them? Amonike, for instance. So what are we talking about? Some other African countries have their local coaches managing their affairs and paying them with their currency. But this one is an expatriate, somebody hired from a foreign land, considered to be the best, higher than everybody here, technically. Then he's here now for good 5 years. He can't even assemble a formidable team. I don't think he need more chances, because people have been saying at this point he can't give what he doesn't have. He can't give more than this. Even last Nations Cup, remember what happened? I saw it coming that we are going to lose that game.
We have two critical scenarios before us. We have the Cameroon 2020 starting in January, and then the delay of the matches we're having as a last stance in the Qatar 2022. So talking about sacking him now, don't you think that will really cast a big blow on the team, trying to come up to gather themselves and prepare for what is so near?
I don't think so.
Don't you think something else could be done for him to really handle the team in a better way than what it is now?
I don't think so, my sister. The truth of the matter is, Super Eagles, we all know, we have established stars. Okay? They are all playing in Europe. Some are even in big clubs like Osimhen.
Yes, they're big clubs. But what happens when they come to the soil?
That is why
they can't really perform well.
That is why I'm saying Raw should go home. We should
Do you think
look
the problem is the Raw?
Yes, he is the person. He is the person. Look, when your team, if you cannot instill discipline into your team, then you can't go anywhere. Look at German team, for instance. There is no big man in German team. That is what keeps them going. In German team, either if you are not disciplined, you can't go there. Okay, now, talking about the league, I mean our own league, NPF and NNL. The man mentioned something, if you remember, that there is nobody in the league that is not interested in bringing his expertise, I mean, to impart something on our local players, to bring them up. Remember Stevie Keshi, late Stevie Keshi, the 2013 Nations Cup Nigeria won. That was the last best outing for us. Remember Sunday Uba? You remember that name, Sunday Uba?
And we believe that
he even scored some goals.
Coaches have done well for the country.
Yes.
Well, NFF has not really come up to say.
Yes, that is my suggestion. That is my advice.
But whatever the situation, we hope that something good will come out of all this glamour and calls for sack and this, so that at the end of the day, we expect that the Super Eagles should qualify for Qatar 2022 and still make us proud at the Nations Cup in Cameroon 2022. And that's how it has been on Real Sports today. Many thanks for watching. Do remember to join us again next week Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for another edition. Thank you, our guests, for being on the program.
Thank you.
And to you out there, it's good afternoon.